Hello, hello. We're so excited to have another wonderful discussion around roots, remedies, and ancient wisdom for healers and lightworkers. But of course, this content is good for anybody that's really looking to get to a higher frequency and more aligned from within. Today, I'm with my dear friend Sharon. Hi, Sharon.
Hi, everyone.
And we have so much fun picking the topics. Today's topic is microbiome, is a healthy microbiome, and how do you actually accomplish that? Such a key to your health system. But one of the things Sharon and I have been doing off the side of our desk is we have been doing ta-da-da, the mirror work. This is a fantastic book by Louise Hayes that is a daily exercise that gives you not only some perspective, but it gives you some actions, some journal prompts, and meditation. Sharon, are you liking the book?
I love it. Absolutely love it. It's bringing a lot of things forward that I've been stuffing down for 60 some years. So
You
it's good. It's definitely a very good workshop, very good book.
Yeah, I'm actually thinking about doing it again with the women in my network because, we're doing it with Angie, which is Angie has Paradox Astrology. She's fantastic. And 11 women are joining me, and then we're joining her women. And it's been a really great exercise. Every day you read for 15 minutes or so, and then you follow the exercise as much as you want throughout the day. But I think right now with Venus in retrograde, it's a great time to kind of see like, what are we holding inside? What is holding us back? And the reason I wanted to talk about this is because I feel like I've heard a gazillion times that everything starts with your gut. And so getting that in order and kind of allowing that to function and be fluid can help so many of us. So what is going on in our gut and how can that help us be more healthy and also in our flow?
So I guess we should just start with what is a gut microbiome. And it is really simple. It is basically, think of it as a community. It is microorganisms, good and bad, and they all live together in the gut, the stomach, and the small and large intestine. So basically, it's what makes that up. And there's trillions of organisms in the microbiome, and it's responsible for some studies say 75%, some say 80, some say as much as 85% of our immune system. So basically, if we could get our gut microbiome in really good shape, we really wouldn't have a lot of problems. We wouldn't have some of the diseases that our body um, gets, our genetics that we're born with. Yes, they can be altered. So, we might come into the world and we have a stamp on us where it's our microbiome might not be in great shape, but we can change that. We can alter that. And we also can just live a different, happier life and have a higher immune system and a higher vibration just by getting the gut in check.
That's amazing because honestly, outside of you, you were probably the first person that started talking about my gut and the microbiome. Like, why is this such a mystery and why aren't we taught this so early on?
It really should not be a mystery. It's so simple and so basic, and it doesn't require a lot of work, a lot of fasting. It doesn't require taking tons of supplements. It's super, super easy and basic. I think, not to bash our medical community, but I think it's not something they want us to know because we could pretty much keep ourselves from having to go to the doctor. We could keep ourselves from having to take medication because we
Mhm.
wouldn't be susceptible to getting all the different problems that come into our body that we have to go to the doctor for if we just get our microbiome up and running and in good shape and keep it there.
Mm. Well, you say that it's super easy. To me, it sounds complicated. Like right now, just the word sounds complicated to me. So, what are some of the easy things you can do to get your microbiome in check?
Okay, so the easiest things would be to think of fundamental things that all people know are good for their health. We need to stay hydrated. We need to have a certain amount of sleep. We need to exercise. and we need to try to reduce stress in our lives. Those 4 key factors alone will help boost your immune system and get your microbiome in good shape. When you don't sleep properly, or when you don't eat a nutritious diet, those are things that start tearing the microbiome down, and the good bacteria starts getting smaller and the bad bacteria starts spreading, and that causes gas and bloating, all kinds of other symptoms, things that we can't explain that are going on in our system. Maybe we don't even recognize it until it becomes something full blown. But if we just do those fundamental things that we all know we're supposed to be doing, everyone knows they're supposed to be getting a certain amount of sleep at night. Everyone knows drinking water is good for us. It's like, it's not rocket science. It's so simple. That would be just enough to keep us going all the time if we just did those basic things and eating the nutritious diet. Now, we have to get our microbiome in good shape. That's where right now, like, let's say somebody's really off the charts, or they have diabetes, or they have asthma, they have other issues going on. They've got to work on getting their microbiome working properly so that they can just do the fundamental things and be in good shape.
So do you think people would know if they had like a lot of gas or a change in their bowel movement, or how do they know if their microbiome is not in good shape right now?
So one way of knowing would be the real easy way of knowing is if they have a lot of stomach bloating, indigestion, or gas, any of those things. Those are really obvious ways. But then also, they may just have like brain fog, or they may just feel tired every day, and they may not can pinpoint exactly what the problem is. They know they don't feel good. They don't have a lot of energy. They just muddle through the day. Those people have like the hidden symptoms, or maybe they are taking medication for something. All of those things are going to tear down the good bacteria and the microbiome and continue to feed on the bad bacteria so that it's out of balance. It's swaying towards the negative instead of the positive.
Yeah, so interesting. And so the first episode, we talked a lot about the importance of just good food, right? Organic food, local food, food that, you know, um, comes to you in ways that kind of the source, or at least you can read about the source. So is that some of the material that is necessary for this?
Yes, it's funny because we could talk about pretty much any subject in health, and all of it is going to come right back to the microbiome. I mean, everything that we could discuss, if we talked about heart disease, if we talked about uh, diabetes, or high blood pressure, pick any subject, it's all going to filter back to the microbiome, no matter where it starts. If you can get that balance back into shape, and basically you do have to eat properly. I mean, you can't be downing potato chips and dip. You can't have a lot of sugar. You can't have a lot of processed foods. And I'm not saying that you can't ever have them, but if you know, and we all know what we're eating, if you're eating more processed food than you are, a nice vegetable bowl of soup, or a nice plant-based meal, or if you're having a lot of sugary sweets, if you have to have a sweet treat after your meal every time, then that's something you need to think about, like, why am I having this craving? Why do I need that? Because there's an imbalance in the system, and your body's craving something that you should not be eating.
Yes, yes. So it just keeps us so mindful of how important our food choices are. And that, basically, I think of it as like the core of an avocado, the core of the planet. It all starts at the core.
Exactly. And
Mm.
it's pretty basic. I mean, um, you can read up on things about the microbiome and what types of food you can use. And basically, fermented foods of any kind are really good, like incorporating sauerkraut, or kimchi, or kefir, however you want to pronounce it. miso soup, apple cider vinegar. Everyone's heard of that. So, there's a lot of things that are fermented that we can incorporate into our system that will help build back that good bacteria in the gut.
Yes. And so some of you might be thinking, JJ, I thought you talked about spiritualism and women in business. Why are you talking about roots and remedies for the microbiome? But I feel like as you get older, you really notice when your body is not working properly, or maybe you're going through a change of life. And I feel like so many of us try to pinpoint an exact issue, but maybe just considering really working on your microbiome. And so, are there tests that people can take to find out where it's at? Do only do only functional medicine experts really work with the microbiome, or how do people even start?
Well, let me address one thing you just said. When you said people wonder, when you talk about spiritual things, why are you talking about the microbiome? If our microbiome is not functioning at a high vibration, it does affect our spirituality. Because if you think about our body, we've talked about this before, our body is our temple. And what we bring to the body affects our spirituality. It is a spiritual experience. So we should be honoring that microbiome, honoring that body by bringing the good food, by making sure we get the rest, doing all the things that we know can bring the microbiome into a safe space. As far as tests go, you could, when you go to the doctor to have your regular blood work, certain things will show up of what you're lacking. A perfect example is when you have a glucose test. If you're really high on the spectrum, say you're 98 or 99, you're right at the edge. You're close to being pre-diabetic. What's the reason? For me, I have late onset diabetes in my family tree for pretty much everybody had it. So that's something for me, I know genetically I need to be careful for. So, you need to know your family history. You need to know genetically what is in store, and you need to prepare for that. As far as tests go, though, yes, you could go and be tested, but usually you would know you have a problem. You'd have leaky gut syndrome. You might have, you might be allergic to wheat. You might have a milk allergy. All of those things are a microbiome that's out of sorts.
Yeah, so people who have celiac or other things, Crohn's, other things, that is a byproduct of an unbalanced microbiome.
Exactly.
So that's not a life diagnosis, is what you're saying.
Well, the doctor is going to let you think it is, because in the medical world, there is no cure for it, because, they can give medicines, they can give antibiotics, but those only are like adding kerosene on top of the fire already. It's not something that can be medically cured, but you can definitely cure your own symptoms by changing your diet. I really believe anything can be reversed. I believe cancer can be reversed. Any disease that gets handed to you can be reversed if you allow your body to heal itself, and you place, good food, good nutrition into your body, and you try to keep your stress level down. You meditate. You take walks in nature. You make sure that you're getting the hydration that your body needs. If you're depriving your body of being hydrated, you're depriving the cells. They can't grow. Nothing will function properly. So again, like I said, it's such a basic thing between, the hydration, the sleep, the stress, and the diet. It's that simple.
That's amazing. And I know below you put quite a few probiotics. And I know obviously a lot of people take a probiotic after they take some kind of medicine or prescription of some sort. And honestly, when I was thinking about microbiome, I was thinking like, yes, the answer is probiotics. But what I hear you say is like, no, it's a lifestyle. It's it's like essentially your microbiome is a regulator of how you're living your life. So if you're getting enough sleep, you're eating the right foods, if you're taking care of your sugar intake and make sure it's not excessive, your microbiome should essentially get in the right rhythm.
Right. It will heal itself and it will become balanced. But the micro or the probiotics or prebiotic or both, along with the food, most people in the beginning need a jump start. And to me, that's what the probiotics are for. They're a jump start to get your microbiome in good shape. Some people, depending on how well they can adjust their diet, they may need to continue to take that probiotic. Or somebody who has a really chronic disease, if somebody like, for instance, the Crohn's or the celiac, they may need to continue to take that because their body has been programmed for so long in the negative zone, and it might take years for the microbiome to get back the way it should. Or one little time of deviating away from something could cause, a disaster. So they may want to stay on a probiotic, but the average person could adjust for a short period of time, adjust with a probiotic, or even an enzyme, which you would take with your meal. And that helps, if your body has gotten into bad shape and you can't break food down properly, you can take an enzyme and that will do the work for you so that your stomach juices, it allows them to work at the right level that they're supposed to. But then once you get to that stage, if you are eating prebiotic foods like apples, bananas, there's a lot of prebiotic foods. They feed the probiotic foods in your system that make that healthy microbiome.
This is so powerful and not a conversation I've heard before. So I'm really excited you joined us. I know you help a lot of people one-on-one to kind of just get their body working in the right direction because of a diagnosis or because they have a family tree and they're expecting to, have to deal with some of the challenges that their family has dealt with before. So I really appreciate you coming and talking about these things so that people have a person to turn to, that they have links and products that you recommend, which are below, not only in this episode, but all the episodes that we've done so far. So I love this, Sharon. I thought this was going to be a lot more complicated.
It's so easy. It really is. And the thing that mind boggles me the most is that if you think about the fact that 75 to 85% of your immune system lies within your microbiome, and all you have to do is get that into good shape. I mean, I can say honestly, in the last 20 years, I've had maybe one cold, one sickness. That's it. And I really believe it's not because I'm superwoman. It's not because, I take X, Y, and Z. It's because I have been working on my microbiome. And I just, I get up every day. I have a lot of energy. I look forward to putting good foods into my body. I try really hard to get a regulated sleep, and a lot of people struggle with that. And there's all kinds of things that we can talk about in future episodes of how to de-stress, how to bring your body down to a restful state before you actually go to bed. But it is simple. It really is that simple. So, you got to think about it. Am I eating right? Am I getting my hydration? Am I getting my sleep? Am I trying to reduce my stress level? All things that we talk about all the time, putting it together and cleaning out that microbiome and getting the good balance between the good and the bad.
Well, this is fabulous. And I appreciate the work that you do with so many to do one-on-one work because I feel like sometimes you just need an accountability coach to make sure that you have somebody to say, yes, I ate my apples. No, I didn't eat the chips. And I am taking prebiotics to help my probiotics, or I'm eating in a way that helps the medicine or the supplements I'm taking. And, I think if you feel like you're ill all the time or you're really tired or you're out of sorts, it
Brain
seems to me
fog,
like,
all those
yeah.
things.
Brain fog, right. This is a great place to start, is really maybe start getting on some prebiotics or no,
Probiotic.
probiotics. So prebiotics or probiotics to help you get a kickstart in really helping your microbiome heal. And if you have any questions, I hope you will reach out to Sharon. She's fantastic, and I turn to her for that and so much more. With that, any last minute thoughts, Sharon?
No, just, making sure that we're enjoying life and keeping a positive attitude, and, every day getting up and thinking, what can I do to make others smile today? And what can I do to bring a smile to myself? And just, not being so serious about things, and just trying to be happy, but also honor our body and bring it into good shape.
I love that. I love that. So, with that, we'll be back on in a few weeks. And if there's any topic that you want us to chat about or things that you don't know, and you're like, hey, I'd like to learn more about that, please drop it in the chat. We'd love to take recommendations and hear what is top of mind for you as you are working to illuminate your light and live within a higher frequency. So, with that, Sharon, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you
I'm
so
so
much.
honored to have you in my network and to talk about such amazing yet simple, but so important. So, with that, we just want to thank everyone for joining us, and we'll see you again next time.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Bye.